Hey there Retro Games fans, this is Andy C from Pieces of 8-Bit. Welcome to this week's The Bit Between. Now, as part of my month with, I am living with the Commodore Amiga 500, an incredibly special machine to me. More will be revealed about that over the month. But my first game that I wanted to play is one of my absolute favourites, and it is an amazing game for so many reasons, which we'll get into in a moment. It is, of course, 1991's Lemmings, and it is on the Commodore Amiga 500. Now, when I think of Lemmings, this is the place I think about playing it. It was released on just about everything. It was released on DOS, SNES, Mega Drive, Game Boy, and even the PSP some years later. But for me, this is the definitive version. This is where it belongs. The visual, the music, the mouse controls, the Amiga version just feels absolutely bang on. It is like it's just the natural place for it to be. Lemmings was developed by DMA Design and published by Psygnosis in February of 1991, some 35 years ago, can you believe it? And of course, DMA Design will sound familiar to many of you, and that's because it's the studio, of course, that would eventually become Rockstar North, the creators of the infamous Grand Theft Auto, which, when you think about it for a moment, is pretty wild. One of the studio's most famous for chaos and destruction was initially famous for saving tiny little green-haired creatures from walking off cliffs and into ravines. Yeah, mad. The origins of the game itself are surprisingly simple. One of the developers, Mike Daly, created a tiny little animated sprite whilst experimenting in Deluxe Paint during development of a completely different game. Someone in the office supposedly said there's a game in that, and of course there really was. The concept itself was genius in its simplicity. You don't directly control the lemmings. Now, for those of you who've never played this game before, I'll explain a little bit about it. For those of you who understand the game, have played it before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Instead, what you do is you try and save them as they endlessly march forwards. Your job will be to assign skills, digging, climbing, blocking, building, whatever it happens to be, to guide enough of them to safety to the exit. If it sounds straightforward, well, it is, until, of course, absolute chaos erupts about 5 seconds into a level and you've got too many lemmings to deal with and you don't quite know what to do with them. What made it really special was just how approachable a game it was. Anybody could understand it within minutes, really, but mastering it, of course, was another story entirely. Its beauty was in that it mixed puzzle solving, timing, strategy and panic in a way that just felt completely new and completely original at the time. Critically, it was a huge success. Magazine reviews at the time were absolutely through the roof. They couldn't get enough of it. They were glazing it constantly. Many publications give it scores of 90s, and some even gave it perfect marks, which is incredible, really. Reviewers loved its originality, the addictiveness of it, the clever level design, and of course today many consider it to be one of the greatest puzzle games ever made, and it's a very real chance that I would agree with that. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Not surprisingly then, commercially it absolutely exploded. Now the Amiga version, just the Amiga version, sold over 55,000 copies on its first day, which was massive for the era. And get this, over the years, across all platforms and re-releases and everything else, estimates reckon on about 15 to 20 million copies worldwide. That is amazing for such a simple little game. And of course, unsurprisingly then, its legacy is massive. It spawned sequels, expansion packs like Oh No More Lemmings, countless ports, clones, imitators, and it helped really cement DMA Design as one of the UK's most important developers. You could even argue that it helped shape later real-time strategy and management style puzzles because of the way that it just blended planning with that live action. Beyond all of that, though, I think the real reason why people still love Lemmings to this day is that it just oozes personality. It just has so much personality. The little animations, the music, the ridiculous deaths, the feeling of desperately trying to save just one more lemming before the timer runs out. It's like utter panic. It's brilliant. And the animations, I love the animations. I was playing this the other day and I love it, you know, when they're climbing up the wall or whatever it is and you can see their hair flapping about and they're just tiny little sprites. I just think they're wonderful. But beyond all of this, the question really then is, does this game hold up in 2026? I've been playing this. You're gonna not be surprised at what my answer is. It's still remarkably playable, but we're gonna play it again anyway. I'm gonna show you, for those of you who remember Lemmings, you know, strap in for a real hit of nostalgia. Can you believe 35 years? I just can't believe it's been that long. For those of you who've never played Lemmings before, then this will give you a little bit of an introduction. I'm just going to play a few levels of the game just to show you the balance and how it starts. Rather than, I'm not going to get too far into it. I've played a little bit further through. You get passwords. You can start at levels later on. But I kind of didn't want to spoil it. I kind of want you to go and have a play with this yourself. So I'm just going to do the first few levels just so you can see what's going on. And then we're going to get stuck. So we're going to get stuck into this wonderful, charming, and hilarious game right now, I think. So, Amiga 500 version. This is the version we're going to play. We're playing it through FS UAE emulator for recording. The sound might be a little bit ropey because for some reason I can't grab the audio out of the emulator. I cannot for the life of me figure out why. So the audio you hear will be on my microphone. But yeah, I've actually been playing this on the Amiga itself, which in my opinion is the best place to play it, of course. So yeah, let's go and have a look to see how it holds up some 35 years later. I'll see you in there. Okay, so we're going to start off nice and easily. Tells us what we've got to do. Gives us a little bit of a clue here in the level name. So just dig. We've got to save 10% of our Lemmings. And we've got 5 minutes to do it. So it's nice and easy. So you're going to see they're going to come out of here and we've got to get them down to here. Right, okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to pick our digger. We actually only need one, so we're just going to pick any one of them. Doesn't really matter which. Now what I can do is I can speed up the release rate and whack that all the way up to 100. Oh, it doesn't matter because I've only got 10 anyway. Just going to wait for these ones here to come back. Obviously, as they're walking down, they're sort of going backwards and forwards in here. So some come out one direction, some come out the other. And you can see down the bottom here, these are all the different abilities that they have. So I've just got 9 diggers. I only needed 1 just to dig a hole. And then you can see there you've got the password. So once we've done that level, we get a password. So if we want to start now on level 2, we needed to save 10%. We rescued all 100%. So let's dive into the next one. So only floaters can survive this. Number of lemmings, 10. 10% to be saved. So we've only really got to save 1 lemming. This is nice and easy, this one. So what we've got to do here... well, wait. I'll show you. It's pretty straightforward. So you can see I've only got this little umbrella guy here. That's all I need. So I'm just going to... Everyone that comes out, you can see the number that I've got going down. And then you can see... It's tempting to leave one, but I can't do it. You almost feel too mean. So you can see, yeah, they're all floating down with the umbrella. Now, if I leave them, they'll just splat on the floor and then they'll die, which means that I won't be able to... Well, I can complete the level because I only needed 1 saved, but I could have demonstrated that. But despite the fact that this is just a game, I feel a little bit cruel. I feel a little bit cruel doing that. Now, this level is one here. This next level here, I do feel cruel, and you'll see why in a minute. So, tailor-made for blockers, which means that we want to use some blockers to change the direction of some of the other lemmings. So I'll show you what I mean once it loads. So we're going to get 50 lemmings this time. We've got to save 10% of them, so only 5 need to be saved, but we will save more than that. So I've just got this blocker one here. So if I left this guy now to walk off the side, he would fall down there to his death. So I'm just going to wait for these chaps here to go. I'm going to have another one here. So let's have another. There we go. And then I'm I've just got to have one more in a second. So I can fall off there. It doesn't matter anyway because I haven't got umbrellas anyway. So there we go. Now what I can do is just increase that rate. There we go. That's it. So we've just got to wait for all of these lemmings at the top here to get down. So then it'll be nice and quick now because we've released them very, very quickly. And you can see as you get into the game to start with, it is very, very similar. And whilst we've got a bit of time to look at it, I mean, look at the little animations, look. It's just fabulous. There's hardly any, you know, like hardly any pixels in these little things here. Very, very simple models. But you see their hair moving around. These little block of guys here tapping their feet, looking left and right. It's fantastic. Okay, now you'll notice we can't complete the level. We've got 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. We've reached our target. So there's only one thing, unfortunately, we can do. We either have to wait for the timer to run out, which we're not going to do, or we can hit this button here, and we're going to blow our lemmings up. And I feel guilty about it for no good reason. There we go. And we're going to get a little explosion, and then we'll complete the level. There we go. I'm sorry, lemmings. 10%. I rescued 94%. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the only way to complete the level. So you just have to deal with it. You know, there are times when you just have to live with the fact that you're going to kill some lemmings. I'm going to do a couple more levels. So let's do this one. So this one just requires this guy here. And then you notice I've only got one of those. I think is it a miner? That's right, it's a miner. So I've got 10 of these little climber dudes. I'll do quick. I missed those. That wasn't very good. Again, look at the little animation. Look, the little hair, the little bits of hair moving around as they climb up there. It's just fantastic. I love it. So again, at these early stages of the game, really what you're doing is just trying out the different sorts of skills, so you get a handle on it. And then as the game progresses, you'll get more and more different skills that you can use, and there'll be different ways. Potentially multiple ways of solving the level. So that's the only way to solve that level. So it's really easing you in, and that's one of the things I was talking about in the preamble, about it being really, really accessible. Let's do this last level now, and then we'll probably go back and then I'll just give you a bit of a wash up. But hopefully you're starting to get the idea. I kind of don't want to solve the puzzles for you because. You know, ultimately, oh, I did not mean to do that. There we go. Yeah, I don't want to solve the puzzles for you because, you know, like that's part of the fun of it. So if I do too many levels, you're gonna know how to complete it. And if you want to walk through, of course, if you are getting stuck on lemmings, then there are plenty of ways for you to. There's plenty of places online for you to go and have a look. I'm going to be clicking away frantically here. If I don't do it, they sort of disappear. You can see them all sort of disappearing at the top there. Not that it actually matters, to be honest with you. Right, let's increase the output here. Go. There's our big army of them marching array through there. You can see on my little mini map at the bottom here. You can see where I've got a stray one coming back down here now. Now, in later levels, of course, you know, stray lemmings wandering off like that, you might not spot them, and they might fall off a ledge or something, and then you might lose the game because you needed to get more. Who knows? There we go. So there you go. That is Lemmings, and that is the 5th level. I'm not going to do any more. I want you to go. Sorry, 5th level. That was the... Oh, no, that's right. Yes, that was the 5th level. So if you want to do level 6, then, you know, you've got the code on there if you really want to jump into it. But I strongly recommend you go and have a look at this yourself later on. So there you go, that was Lemmings by DMA Design from 1991, and I still absolutely love that game. It is just so good. It's so playable even today. It's just a really, really good puzzle game. It oozes personality, as I said before. I just absolutely love it. And you know, it's an incredibly important game. And when you think about games like Worms and various other puzzle games, you know, you can see them having their roots in this. So its legacy and impact are absolutely huge. Question is then, what do I think about it? Well, score-wise, do you know what? I think I am ready to give a perfect score. I don't think I've ever done this on the bit between. I'm normally quite stingy with my scores. I was thinking, you know, do I give it a 4.5? But you know, like if you have to ask yourself the question, like, where does this game, you know, what is the fault? What is the fault that makes it a 4.5? What is the thing that makes it not a 4.5, but you know, instead of a 5? And I can't think of anything. I cannot think of anything. This game is perfect. It's got so much going for it. It's got fantastic animation, as I've mentioned before. The music is brilliant. You know, the replayability is fantastic. The accessibility is fantastic. It's just everything about this game is just so good, and I love this Amiga version. So it's an absolute 5 out of 5 for me. I just love it, and that is because, as well, that this game is still eminently playable in 2026. You don't need amazing graphics. You don't need anything really clever. You just need this. You just need this original game. You don't need to mess with the formula at all. It is just absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. As you can probably tell, it is just fantastic. So I'd love to hear your memories of Lemmings and whether you played it, and also what platform you played it on yourselves. You know, did you play it on the Amiga? Do you have a fondness for a particular version of it? What about the sequels? How did you find the sequels? I enjoyed Lemmings 2. I really enjoyed that, but this for me is the best version. This is the one I played the most. I played it loads on the Amiga 500, yeah, I can just go back and play it time and time again. Yeah, this is just fantastic, and it was lovely playing on the actual original Amiga itself, that original Amiga mouse. So yes, absolutely fantastic. You're going to see an example on the background, in the background in a moment, about how obsessive you can be with saving one lemming. I didn't need to save all the lemmings on this level that's playing out in the background at the moment. This is one for builders, so you've got to build across that little chasm there, and you've got to build to get up onto the steps. That's all. I could have just left that one that's in the little pit there if I'd wanted to, but as you'll see in a moment, I didn't. I built a little staircase to get him out. Just one, didn't need to, just wanted that 100%. You don't get anything extra for 100%. You know, you don't get, you know, like, it's not like in a lot of modern games where, you know, you might, like Angry Birds, for instance, you'll get 3 stars if you get all of the pigs and cause lots of damage. Another game which I think probably has to have placed some of its roots in this, it's a bit of a different puzzle game, but it's that sort of platform puzzle that so many of these games just must really owe some of their existence to this fabulous classic. But there, as you can see, I'm building a little staircase so I can just save that one lemming whilst I've got time before all the others get in there as well. I could just blow him up if I wanted to, but that is the game. That is what you end up doing. You just don't. You just want to save all of them if you absolutely can, and it's upsetting when you have to press the nuke button to get rid of the last few. So yes, there we go. So that is Lemmings. That is the bit between. Like I said, I would love to hear your thoughts and memories about this absolute behemoth of a puzzle game. And I've been waiting to do this on the bit between for so long, but I wanted to do the Amiga 500 as my month with before I even attempted to do it. So yes, that is it. So then, coming up on the channel, we will be starting in earnest with the Amiga 500 month with shortly. So I've kind of already started it, even though technically it's still May. I'm boy is it hot. I apologise actually for some of the audio in the gameplay. You might have heard a bit of a hum in the background. That's because I've got a fan on in here because I'm recording this. It is 35 degrees outside in May, which is absolutely bonkers. But yes, we will be doing some more Amiga 500 stuff. So I've got the 500 Mini, which will be going into the living room. So we're playing a few games on that. And then I've got the actual OG Amiga 500 here in my office, which I've already been playing on. And I'm going to be talking to you a load about that this month. So we're going to be looking at some of my favourite and what I consider to be the definitive games that you must play. And unsurprisingly, this game, spoiler alert, will be one of them. But some of the games you absolutely must play on the Amiga 500 if you're getting back into it, or any Amiga for that matter. Yes, we'll also be looking at my experiences of the Amiga and why this is such an important computer for me and for many actually. And yeah, it still has a huge fan base to this day. But I will get into all of that. As tempting as it is to talk about that right now, I will get into all of that as the month goes on. And of course, at the end of the month, I will also be telling you what it's been like to live with the Amiga for another month. It's probably one of those things where despite despite me despite me loving it, it's a massive unit and it's taking up half my office. So by the end of it, whilst I'm almost certain I'm going to enjoy it, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be glad for it to go back away because it is taking up a huge amount of space. It is a beast of a machine, but I absolutely love it. So let me know your thoughts on this game or Amiga or anything else like that. If there's any games as well that you would like me to have a look at from the Amiga over the next few weeks on the bit between, please do let me know. I've got a few ideas myself. Oh, here's my first fail here in the background. I picked the wrong one and it ended up in the acid at the bottom there. So that was the end of that. Yeah, let me know if there's any games that you would like for me to have a look at for the bit between. Like I said, I have a few ideas, but I'm always keen to hear your thoughts on that as well. So that is it. If you enjoyed these videos, obviously please, if you would like, take a moment to hit that like button for this video and the subscribe button to ensure you are subscribed for more content, and hit the notification icon, the bell icon, to make sure that you get alerted to any new content that's coming up on the channel. But it probably just leaves me to say, please do all take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye for now.